All right, hello and welcome. I'm still setting up a couple things here, so I'm going to start in about 2 minutes. So thank you for joining. If you have any questions, feel free to enter that into the live chat and down below. I will try my best to answer any questions that you have. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started now. So a while ago I made this really cool render. So I made this and a lot of people really liked it. And it's just this really clean looking abstract. I don't know. It's kind of a wallpaper I had. So like just your typical 19 by 6 aspect ratio kind of thing. So it'd crop it, and then when you scroll, it would scroll over. So that was kind of my idea for this. And I just wanted it to be nice and simple, not really much to it, but have a lot of detail. And so one way I kept it clean was I just moved everything smaller. And I found that that helped a lot. And then lighting also has a really big effect. And I kind of want to change this background out. So I think we're going to do that as well. But in this tutorial, I'm just going to show you how to make a nice, simple, and elegant design really fast. So also I made this, and this is just a really simple animation as well. I made this for a contest, and it also uses the same principles. You just move everything small and then have something subtle in the background. So yeah, let's get into it. So we're actually going to use our default cube here. So we're going to scale it up and then down. And we're just going to make one instance of a really detailed object. It doesn't even have to be very detailed. It just has to be visually interesting. So like that, and then one more time. There we go. Shade smooth. And let me turn on my shortcuts here so you can see how I'm doing it. There we go. So now that we've got this pillar, we want to put something above it. And I think this time I'm going to go for a sphere. So let's get in our icosphere here. GZ. And shade smooth. Let's give it a subdivision. There we go. And apply it. And I am using not Bacchus mod, that's Rocket League, sorry. I am using the Mesh Machine, Hard Ops, Box Cutter, your standard Blender add-ons, and that's just because I found that they are actually extremely helpful. And give me one moment here. Alright, sorry about that. So I am going to be using some of these rather basic and standard add-ons that a lot of people would already have. So I'm just going to slice this in half here. Like that. There we go. Add a nice seam in there. And I don't actually like how soft that looks, so I'm going to shade flat. And I'm actually going to delete that because I don't want that harsh or that rounded of corners. SZ, S, tab, Control B to bevel, or Control A, apply scale, Control B, bevel, and slight. There we go. And then one more time. Okay. That looks good. And I kind of like it shaded flat, actually. Okay. So move it up a little bit. And for this, we're going to apply. Go to tab mode here. And we are going to select all of these and face select here. And we're going to make this a different color. So assign new, and then new assign for that one. This one we're just going to set to a blue for now. We'll change this later, obviously. So tab back out. And now we've got this simple pillar. Scale it down, mess with it however you like, until you get sort of the look you're going for. And you don't want it to be too big, and you just want it to be one single object. So kind of like that. That's good. So now, to add some visual interest here, we're going to make half of this glass. So select this one, and we're going to make it glass. There we go. Render view here. Turn it to cycles because that always makes everything look better. So there. Bring the roughness up. And we'll deal with the shading in a moment here. Oh, I am lagging. It's fine. Sorry if my voice is lagging compared to the video. That's just my PC. I am saving up for a bigger one, but that will take a while. So shade smooth here. Alright, and then this one we're going to make a metal. There we go. Sort of a bluish. We want to give it a little bit of roughness. So now we're going to go to the shading tab here. And we're going to edit this. So Control A and get our, let's see, noise. A noise texture. And a Musgrave texture. There we go. Feed the noise into the roughness. Like that. And then the Musgrave into the vector. Like that. Let it buffer. And this is a common method that a lot of artists use. I think Ducky 3D uses this a lot. And it just gives it a visually interesting and contrasting look. And I think it pairs really nicely. Mess around with that however you like. I personally like to have this marbled look. Now let's shift over to the glass. Nope. Let's go to the glass section here and do something similar here. We're going to get the noise and the Musgrave. And we're going to put this to here. and this to there. So that way we get this ripple effect on that part as well. And I think that just looks really nice. We can shift to cycles here and see how that looks. Oh, oh. Yikes, that was weird. Okay. Yeah, so that looks really good. I'm really happy with that. I kind of want to give it a hollow inside of it. So let's go to add modifier, solidify. All right. Now cycles. We want barely. And we'll see what that does later because we're going to make a emission shader inside of this. So let's go into layout here, back to there, and let's select this top half. Press L to select all those the connecting faces. And we're going to just move this upward a little bit, like that. So now what we can do is tab, add in another icosphere. There we go. GZ, scale it down. GZ, and put it right about in the center there. Shade smooth, and give this one a emission value here. Let's make it blue to match. Not that bright. And we don't want this to be bright necessarily, we just want it to make there be just this nice subtle inner glow. So we'll find, there we go. Okay, so now that we have that, let that render out for a moment. Alright, yeah, that's looking good. Let's go here and adjust these a bit. Scale. Yeah, that looks good. I'm not too happy with that. Let's bring that down like that. Maybe even move it up to inside. No. Let's do it like this. Scale it, and then let's use box cutter and just cut it. There we go. That's good. Okay, so now we've got this nice, interesting piece there that'll catch your eye. And let's work on making a background here that's going to be visually attractive, but not detract from our focal point. So this is going to be interesting. So we're just going to get a backdrop of a plane there. RX 90. And then go G, Y, and scale it up. Don't worry about your camera placement right now. So right there. Let's give this a metal value here. New. Make it metal. Bring down the roughness. Okay. And make this one metal as well. And I'm actually going to use the Ducky 3D real-time texture pack here and just grab in some copper. And copper is one of my personal favorites for making a metal that's visually attractive but not distractingly so. So bring down the dent scale, the roughness scale, and there we go. Let's apply scale. That was wrong move. There we go. So now we've got that. Apply scale on this. So now we've got this nice dented metal look that I really, really like. And as you can see, it's actually bringing the focal point more towards our orb here because these sort of blend in. Not exactly. We're going to actually do this and make this slightly darker so that it has more of a contrast to it, like that. There we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these. Nope, I'm still in box cutter. There we go. We're going to take these three, Control C, Control V, and we're going to move it. And what is this? That, oh, I didn't apply the Boolean there. My bad. Let's apply that. Now we can delete this. There we go. So now we move that over here and scale it down. So now we got to think about camera and lighting. So let's Control Alt 0 and put our camera right about there. And this is just a reference camera. This is not our final camera position. RZ, rotate it around, get some variance here. Okay, there. Control C, Control V. Alright. And then this goes RZ. S, scale it up a bit. And there we go. And just make sort of a little cluster of these towers right here. Alright. One more. Make sure none of these are touching each other. And try to get them so that they all are visible by the camera here. So kind of like that. There we go. That's good for now. So now let's find an actually good angle here, and we're gonna move all these lights around anyway. So G, kind of like that. Move this one a little closer. And rotate them around so that they're visually different from each other and get that nice variation. Our brain is psychologically inclined to notice variation in pattern more than it is continuity. And I don't actually know why that is, but it is interesting to know that if you make something the same and make a bunch of things the same and then one tiny thing different, your brain will notice that very quickly. So for that reason, I'm going to invert just one of these. And I think I'm going to do this one. There we go. And that'll give a little bit of, just a little something extra to this. I think that'll go well. There we go. Okay, I think that's good. So now let's deal with lighting. Now lighting is very important if you want just a calming scene here. So let's get our lights scene world. There we go. So obviously we're going to want something illuminating the front part here, but we don't want to cast too much of a shadow because as you can see that's kind of visually disrupting. So what I'm going to do is delete that and get in a area light here. RX90 and move it back, scale it up, and turn the brightness very bright. Somewhere around there. And let's turn our world strength to 0, so that way we can control all the lighting sources, and that's very important. So let's go back to our light here, RZ, and get it to the point where you've got nice highlights on all the parts, such as these faces here, a couple edges, and then really nice rim lights just everywhere else. Rotate it up. Also make sure to double check because it's like, so make sure that whatever you do it looks as well. I think that's good. So now let's copy that and move it up and rotate. Kind of like that. So now our lighting, I think this one's a bit too strong. So now we have the lighting on our objects. Oh. And I want most of the lighting to be on that side, over to this side as well, or to this side, because this side is going to have our pillars, and so I want to kind of balance it out. And balance is very important for these kinds of renders. So now we're just going to take this and move it to here, to the front here, and we're just going to make a really big one and give everything here contrast, kind of get rid of these harsh shadows here. Okay, that looks good. So let's rotate this here so that it's at a bit better of an angle and isn't just reflecting blank. There we go. Nope, stop. There we go. Okay. And that's actually looking pretty good. So now we just got to edit the glow inside of these. So go here. And turn all of these to let's put all of these on the same channel here. So put them all on material 17 or whatever yours is. It's probably different. There we go. So now we can control the brightness of all of these at once. And we're going to make it somewhere around there. Yeah, that looks good. So, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. In the meantime, I'm going to put a nice light up there to sort of fill the void. And this time I'm going to use a point light because I think that gives nice highlights. Scale it up. Let's take this, move it over a little bit. There we go. That looks good. Nice little cluster. Hello, how are you doing? Alright. Oh, my computer's lagging now. Alright. So that's good. And I think I'm going to rotate this plane here to actually be reflective in a different direction. So that brings some interest over there, contrasting with this. And I think that looks really good. So now we're going to add a halo around this, and that'll sort of complete the lighting look. Move it a little farther back. So let's get a torus in here. And no, not the terrible Ford. So if I remember, it's Alt S. There we go, yeah. So scale it down. Yes, balance is very important. So if you look, I have this highlight here, which is visually interesting, especially with all of this really nice texture, which you can't really see. There you go. So all of this really nice texture helps balance it out with the interesting objects right here. And then this halo here, this point light, helps bring attention to this central one. So yeah, it all does tie in, and it is very important to keep everything nice and tidy. And yeah, I think this looks really good so far. So let's rotate this X, nope, not RX 90, and bring it up. Oh, it's got some buffer. Yeah, so I'm actually using my GoPro right now as the webcam, so there's quite a bit of delay. So 1, 2, 3, yeah. So sorry for that. I'm working on getting stuff set up for a bit more professional streaming. There we go. Oh, is it like actually like glitchy sound? That's probably because my computer's way overloaded right now. Yeah, I'm doing this on a laptop, so it's very bad. Rotate that a little bit. So we're going to try to align this to the middle one here so that we've got some nice continuity. So we've got some concentric circles there. And I think that's actually pretty good. Like that, shade smooth. And yeah, let's see. Yeah, here's where it's going to start to stutter because cycles. So that's just a fact of life for right now. And I think I need to get a bit of a point light in there to sort of cancel out the black. G.